Good evening. My name is Martin Sanchez. I live at 261 Sickles. From a child advocacy perspective, I'd like both gentlemen to answer how they could propose to work with the Board of Education, one of the other large entity within New Rochelle, in terms of resolving or bringing about some sort of summit, an effort to resolve some of the conflict that exists in our community between our youth.
Thank you. We'll start with Mr. St. Paul.
Thank you for the question. First, I think it's very important that the two governments work together. That's the City Council and the school board. I think it's very important that each other go to each other's meeting. Now, I've been to several meetings here, and you don't really see a lot of school board members here. And I've been to the school board meeting, and you don't see a lot of City Council people there. That says something about the communication lines. That's the first thing. Secondly, I think that we need to, in terms of involving our youth, and I talked to some youth last night at the Youth Bureau dinner, and I simply asked, what is here in terms of resources? Is there some type of information, a pamphlet that tells you what type of resources are here for the young people? And they replied, no, we don't have that. That's something we have to do. We have a lot of resources in this community, using our civic leaders, using our religious leaders. We have a lot of resources, we have spaces, we have opportunities. We need to collaborate all of that and disseminate that information to our youth so that they know they have choices after school and things to do. The other thing, as I talked about last Saturday, is we had a group meet with civic and religious leaders to talk about improving the quality of life for our children. And we need to continue that discussion along with our religious leaders, incorporating more religious leaders, and working with the school board and the city council for a final goal.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Well, Mr. Sanchez, with all due respect, I mean, I think you are a school board member, and you should know better than me that we already got together with the Board of Education probably about 2 months ago to start making seminars and making more aware of the community that we need to bring the Black and Hispanic together and avoid these confrontations among us. And we also have planned to go, and I offer myself to go and speak to the classroom with the kids and encourage them and teach them some diversity among the schools. And they said that the council members cannot get involved with the school board. So that is something that is probably for your information. I attended several meetings in the beginning of my council membership, and they told me that the school is separate from the council members that have to make their own decisions. In times like this, we are getting together, and we want to work together with them to solve the problem among our kids. We need to educate our kids, and we need to educate our parents, and we need to work harder and be a non-partisan, because we all pay taxes in this city, and that is our responsibility. And I'm putting myself on the table to start working with them at any time.
Thank you. This will be our final question.
My name is Manuel Chagas at 248 Fifth Avenue. This is for Richard St. Paul. How do you plan to seek out the money from our exhausted already taxes that our taxpayers are paying? How are you going to find the money to fund the city services?
Yes.
Thank you for the question. I think it's very important. We only have really one pot or one pocket that we're looking into each time we look to raise our taxes. And that, unfortunately, is the taxpayer. 75% of the taxes are paid by the taxpayer. What's important here is that we have to develop our retail downtown. The city has taken the position that they're not landlords. So what does that mean? That means they're not working aggressively with businesses like a Barnes & Nobles or Bed Bath & Beyond or whatever type of business it may be to bring them to New Rochelle. Too often we see the downtown, residential is built, but the commercial space is empty. We have to work with retailers. We have to make that our position, that when the residential is done, the commercial will be done too. It's happening in a lot of other cities. There's no reason why we can't do that. We must engage the business community, ask them what needs they need, and bring them here, because we need more than one pocket to pool so that we can get the resources we need to maintain and improve our quality of life.
Thank you. Mr. Lopez.
Well, as you all know, it's a very difficult task that the city is working on. We're working very hard to bring development into the city. It's very hard to bring economic development. We're fighting very hard to finish our economic development into downtown to bring the retail. We have the business, the chamber, the the business improvement district that are essential in the needs in the community that they're working with. They have empty spaces. We have retail. The developers are working very hard to bring them in. It's easier to say than done. We try to have any effort in the city to try to bring developers in. It's not as easy as to say, let me bring Barnes and Nobles to New Rochelle, because it's not going to happen. You have to give them the facilities with parking and the square footage that they require, and then they might be able to come. We have to compete with other cities. We have to have our development of retail, and we need to get our residential and offices in the downtown in order for them to come in. We have several buildings coming up. Try to accomplish all these issues. Parking is essential throughout the city. Traffic, we have to accommodate every single retail that comes in. That will be easier for them to conduct business in the city of New Rochelle. The city of New Rochelle just hired someone to start bringing retail into the city of New Rochelle. So I'm very happy with the progress. It's going to take time, but we're working on it.
Thank you. Okay, we're ready for the closing statement, and we agreed that we'll do it in the same order that you started. So Mr. Lopez will do a 1-minute closing.
I am 100% committed to continue what I have done as a council member and improving upon any quality of life issues the residents in my district might have. Taking care of the community is a top priority in my life. As a longtime resident and business owner in District 4, I am aware of what the community needs and how to satisfy those needs. I plan to utilize my experience and a proactive approach to problem solving to ensure that our community is a happy, safe, and upward mobilizing community now and in the future. In November 6th, I ask for your vote. Remember, I live and run my business in the heart of District 4.
Thank you, Mr. St. Paul.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming out. We're at a pivotal point here in New Rochelle, at a crossroads. We have an opportunity to move in a direction which will enhance the quality of the Queen City. We have a date with destiny, with greatness, a city to be proud of for generations to come. But before we do this, before we reach that greatness, we must ask one question. Who is the most qualified to lead us to the greatness? Is it the candidate with the proven leadership, an advocate, and experience, or is it the status quo? The future in New Rochelle lays in your hand. You are the masters of the Queen's fate. For if not you, then who? For if not change now, then when? I'm Richard St. Paul. I want your vote on November 6th. And let November 6th be the day that the people took back their government. Thank you very much.
I want to thank the candidates for District 4.